Doing some work here on a Slant 6 rebuild, and what we did was we got a stroker kit for this thing, and we took the rotating assembly down. We got it balanced by a local shop there, and in all the research and everything when I was doing this project, I was told that you could get a fluid damper for 440 and it'll fit on the crankshaft. So that's what I did. I put that on there. I'm stuck with it now because it was also part of the balancing of the rotating assembly, and now I have to make the drive pulleys work on this thing. On the factory Slant 6, there's a groove right in here, right off the harmonic balancer, like in the harmonic balancer for the drive belt. And so now that this is shoved out, I've got to get some pulleys and make them work. This is an example of the harmonic balancer where it's got the groove right into the balancer here, and then this one has an extra pulley bolted on the front. The donor engine only just had the groove here for on the harmonic balancer for the drive belt. Here is the drive pulley off of Big Block. I think I got this one off of a 440. It's some pretty heavy duty hardware here, and there's no way I'm gonna need no 4 belt pulley on here. And the space in here I'm kind of concerned about, because that's going to push everything out quite a ways for the drive belts. Also too, this is the factory water pump pulley that goes on there, and it is 6.5 inches in diameter, and it actually interferes with this one here when you put it on. So I found another one off of a small block Dodge, like a 318, and I put this one on, and that's 6 inches in diameter. So that's gonna save me some space in there. I'm not gonna have an interference fit between my 2 pulleys here. Here's a 440 crank pulley, and it's pretty heavy duty. I think it's a little more than what I want, but I found a small block which is basically the same diameter. It's just got it doesn't have 4 grooves on there. So what I did was I cut it apart. I cut off the 3 grooves, and then I cut out the center hub here, and then I've got a plate that I'm going to be putting in there. So basically the plate is going to go in here, and that's pretty much you know, I made it as close as I could to for size on size to fit inside. And then what I plan on doing is tacking it from the back side. Put some tacks on there, and then I'm going to bolt this onto the harmonic balancer, and then I'm going to space, like I'm going to find that space between the harmonic balancer and the end of the pulley here. Here we are with the finished pulley on the engine here, and we got it as close as we could to the harmonic balancer. The gap looks pretty consistent all the way around. So we'll leave that how it is right now, and then we need to work on lining up our fan pulley here, and then see what we're gonna do here with our alternator. Looks like this bracket, might have to build a modified bracket to push the alternator this way in order for it all to line up. So we ended up shimming this pulley out about 450 thou. And then we kind of noticed that something's a little screwy here. So as we turn the pulley, if you can see that, it is wandering back and forth. So I'm suspecting that our water pump shaft is bent here. So we'll probably have to change out that water pump with a straight shaft so that we can get a proper true alignment here. So the next stage of the game here is we gotta pump this alternator out. So this is the existing bracket here. There's a bolt here, a bolt there, and one here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna try and build a custom bracket to bring this out and line this shiv up with one of these ones here. With that alternator off, we can see the bracket here that we're gonna have to modify. There's 2 bolts on the bottom, 1 on the top that's holding that together. I'm gonna try and build a whole new bracket. And a couple things to consider here, I guess, is we've got our coolant hose that's coming out here, so we're gonna have to accommodate for that. And a bonus might be is once we move this alternator that way, we might get a little better access at our number 1 spark plug, and might free up a little room in here too. This is a location, or a possible location, for the coil. We mocked up a bracket here with some 1-inch square tubing, cut it, drilled the holes, bolted it all on so it's all fastened, and then we covered the engine around the front here with the fire blanket, and weld that up, let it cool off. And we've got our ear that's going to support the alternator right here, so put that on and see how close we are to lining up with these pulleys here. We got the alternator just put on here. All we want to do is we just want to see if we're lining up with those pulleys. So we just got that set on there. It's not on tight or nothing, but we'll grab that belt and we just want to kind of see how we're looking here. Well, in the end, this is what we ended up with here. We were having some troubles trying to line up this alternator. So what I ended up doing was once we got the bracket fabricated here with the basically at the bottom, this is your pivot point off the bracket, and then you're going to swing this out and you're going to put tension on it to tighten up the belt. So once we kind of established this new bracket to hold the alternator on, what I did was I made like a jacking bolt system here. So we've got this is the threaded rod, and I welded a nut on the end here. And this isn't completed yet, but basically this is just a bushing. And then what we did was we drilled a hole through there, and I'm going to use a roll pin. So this has to be pushed tight up against there, and then what happens is when you're turning this clockwise or counterclockwise, this portion here is threaded. So basically, it's adjusting the alternator to line up the pulley. So, and the reason I did that was because when I was trying to build this bracket here, I kept having to take it apart and tack it, and take it apart and tack it, and then I just got tired of doing that, so that's why I made this adjustable. So I guess the plan is that the crank pulley is going to be non-adjustable. It just bolts right under the crank there. Then we've got our water pump pulley here, and you can put shims in behind here, and you can bring that out or to line it up with the crank. So number 1 is the crank pulley is non-adjustable. 2 is you line up the water pump pulley to the crank pulley, and then lastly we've made the alternator fully adjustable. We've got our adjustable jack bolt here that's going to bring it in or out this way, and then what I did was I built this arm here to put tension on it. And because this is going to be adjustable to come backwards and forwards, this arm had to be able to do the same thing. So basically all this is it's just a pin, right? So we just got a pin on there, and then this is just a nut that I drilled through, and this will slide back and forth on the pin. And then I got another jacking bolt system here where you're just going to put tension on this arm fastened to the alternator to tension up your belt, and then you just loosen this off to change the belt. Or here is the adjustable arm setup that I made. This is the original one here, and it's just got this slot and it slides. And usually what you'll do is you'll grab a pry bar and you'll put some tension on the alternator, prying off of something. At least that's what I do, and then tighten down that bolt on the alternator, and then that's gonna give you your tension on your drive belt. Well, I was working on this, and I started off with making an adjustable bracket to adjust the alternator frontwards and backwards. Then I realized that this arm too would need to be adjustable to accommodate that, right? So this is what I came up with, and so this is the adjustment that's going to extend the arm to put the tension on the alternator to tension the drive belt. And then this here is just going to slide on a pin so that it can come frontwards or backwards along with the alternator when you're making like small adjustments to line up the drive belt there. As we're working on this pulley system here, we find out that basically you wanna do this with the proper belt that you're working with. Different size belt will definitely make a difference on the location, position of the alternator, and tightening the belt and everything like that. And so I've kind of made this so I can go both ways, as I described earlier. I thought that there, in the beginning there was an interference fit with the original water pump pulley, and so I went with this this smaller water pump pulley off of like a small block Dodge 318 360 LA engine. And but what I've done is I've fit it with this one, and I've also fit it with the original one, so they both fit, and this belt will work with both of them. It does make a difference. When I was building this bracket here and trying to tension this up, if I did not make that arm long enough, I was not able to tension it. So something to consider there. And if you're gonna do something similar here, make sure you're using you're gonna use the same pulleys and the belt as you will in the finished assembly.